It's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's sourdough. Hey, it's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's also a show. Hey.
Yeah, we're also on camera.
Well, I don't even see the camera. Oh, there it is.
That's what's so great about this place. This is where Robert Kelly
Mike, you
does
set
it.
this all up?
Robert, have you ever been here before?
Yeah, I was here with Robert, but it was a different setup.
Oh, it was?
Bob's like, wait till you see the new place. I was like, oh, shut it, Bob.
It's, yeah, I like it. It's
Yeah, it
nice.
is nice. It's better.
I brought you some sandwiches.
Thanks.
This is a place that Liz told me about over on Sullivan Street.
Oh, nice. What's it called?
It's
Great
called
place.
All'Antico Vinaio.
Nice, nice.
And it's made on focaccia bread.
Ben there.
Comes from Florence. So that one you'll like because it's just prosciutto,
Yeah.
a little oil, plain.
You say focaccia bread like it's some new delicacy. It's been in the country for 40 years. Everybody knows it is. Every other restaurant serves it. The Olive Garden probably has it.
I know, but you never get sandwiches just on a square focaccia. Who does that? These people.
Olive Garden.
That is, this one is prosciutto, but it's got truffle on it.
Ew.
I thought that one would make you mad. And this one's guanciale with some eggplant thing on it.
Turkey?
No. Pork.
The focaccia could caught in my throat. I could choke to death on focaccia.
Do you like it? That one's good, right?
Very good.
Yeah. Just for you.
But guess what?
What?
Nothing that podcast fans hate worse than when you eat on camera.
They get so mad.
So mad.
So mad. If you chew on the mic. My whole thing is about eating.
I know, but I can't blame them.
It bothers you too?
Well, you know, when you're hearing somebody chew, it's kind of annoying.
I kind
It
of,
makes you sick. You drive it away and you throw up.
yeah, but I don't know. It's just chewing. But there's an
Chewing
ASMR
is disgusting.
thing
You know what I
about
really
it.
hate?
What?
Whenever you're watching a movie or a TV show,
Yeah.
and you hear them going like this, and they go, like even on a cooking show, I want to go, gross.
I know. But when I had that show on the Food Network,
Yes.
the big thing was that you had to eat it at the end. That was like the money shot. They wanted to see you chewing. They wanted you to talk about it.
Well,
They wanted the mouth. They wanted the whole thing.
I produced that show to play music over it.
yeah. Yeah, and you're supposed to like really get into
great
it.
song, yeah.
Mwah.
You play a song right there.
My daughter had to stop watching The Bachelor because of all the kissing sounds.
I agree with you.
So what's going on with your show? You're moving to a new theater. Is that a fancy upgrade?
No, it's just a lateral move, but my show's upgraded.
Extended.
Yeah, and I'll be doing new things with the show.
You are?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Dancing and stuff?
No, but there's a lot more crowd interaction. Even on this one, there was more than I usually do.
Oh, yeah?
Talk. I don't like to throw the rhythm off with, because the crowd, it can change the rhythm.
Yeah.
And it can change the whole show.
Yeah.
And as much as crowd work is fun, sometimes it's,
Yeah. It's a risk.
yeah, and it can be a crutch, and it can be a lot of things, but
Yeah.
anyway,
But you're enjoying it.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I never do it.
I know it is good.
It's fun.
It is. And what you have to do now is cut little pieces of the crowd work and post it on your TikTok.
Well, that's what everyone says, but I don't have TikTok because I'm too old to be on TikTok.
No, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am.
No, you're not. Mike, is he too old for TikTok? No one's too old for TikTok.
No, he's not too old.
Mike,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. If anyone's too old for TikTok, it's me. Okay? Let's say, hypothetically, somebody could be too old for TikTok. It would be me.
You could put it on Instagram
Yeah, I know. I put all this shit.
or Facebook. You probably have a chat room
People
in
are
a
sick of that
Facebook.
anyway now.
Oh, the
That's
crowd work
played
stuff?
out.
Yeah.
All the comedy on all these platforms is starting to annoy everybody.
Yeah, it really
I mean, it took
is.
long enough. God bless them.
Do you think it'll affect comedy the way that it dipped back in the day when it was on cable too much and there's too much bad stuff?
I've said that for the past 20 years. It hasn't happened yet, so
Yeah.
I don't want to predict it now because,
Why do you think it's different this time? You think the comedy's
why
better?
has it lasted so long?
Why hasn't there been why haven't people gotten sick of it?
Because
Like back in the 80s, people got sick of it watching all this stuff and then all the comedy clubs crashed.
Because as things in the past 15 years have gotten progressive, hold on, I better sip my soda. I've gotten progressively more dishonest, where all the rest of everything is fake.
Right.
The little scintilla of honesty in comedy, people still crave it, you know.
Right. I see what you're saying. So now that we are the truth tellers.
Well, at least occasionally some truth gets through.
Right. I was thinking this morning because I had to do an interview, and I'm gonna ask you this. When I get asked this whenever I'm doing press in some city and they don't really know me or they don't really know comedy, someone's just put on the whatever newspaper to go interview this guy.
Right.
For the show. And the question I always get, and I want to see how you handle it because I can't handle it. I never have an answer for it. So, Colin, you got your show Small Talk. It's playing over at the theater. So tell us, what can people expect from your show?
Oh. Well, I say, you know, they can expect to laugh throughout the entire show, like laugh the entire time. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that's really the requirement of being a comedian. Mm-hmm. You can expect illicit laughter. Whatever subject I'm talking about, you will laugh. Mm-hmm. And that's really all there is to it. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's not a better answer than I give.
What?
I don't know what they're expecting. They're expecting something more than that. Because I said that.
I don't care what they're expecting. Guess what?
What?
Comedy, once they get into all this complex stuff, ultimately, if you're getting laughs, you're a comedian.
Right.
If you're not, you could say you're a philosopher, but I wouldn't call you a comedian.
Right. I was getting ready to go out to the Comedy Store the other night, and I was just getting ready and grabbing my keys and stuff, and Cynthia said that she was watching some show about people who hooked up or dated. They were talking about dating history or whatever, and they were like, "What professions do you like going out with?" And it was like, "I dated a doctor, I dated a lawyer." And she goes, "Stand-up comedy," and the girl was like, "Oh yeah, what was that guy? He like was getting into stand-up comedy, or he was trying stand-up comedy. Oh, that didn't work out." And she was remarking how there is like thousands of people that will try it, but very few end up just like legitimately you could say, I am a stand-up comedian.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, it's harder now than it was when we came up. And it was hard then.
Right.
But you know what I mean? It got harder but so many people did it. But, you know, it's really impossible now. Everything's impossible. Everything's so saturated.
Right.
I don't even know.
You mean hard to break through?
Yeah, well, hard to break through in the sense that, you know, that it's, even if you break through, it's still saturated.
Right.
So, like, hard to break through with an audience for yourself more than there is no industry really to speak of. But,
right.
You know, even going on social media and trying to do your thing, like getting the crowd and then saying, oh, and then keeping them, you know, because you're putting out specials and it's like, we love this person, but it's like anything else. It's,
yeah.
You know, it's just such an over, everything's just, there's so much of everything.
Well, that's why there's so much crowd work. People posting all their crowd work on social, like they just
Well, so they can save
just
the
to
material.
keep feeding the machine.
Well,
you just have to constantly put it out
too.
Yeah, but I think the demand of social media is they just or even like your specials, they just want more. They just want the next thing.
People say that, but then when people talk to me, they go, "I love you. Do you have any specials on anywhere?" I'm like, "Yeah." I have specials on for years. So it's like everybody claims they want more of you, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
You're like, when are you coming to Buffalo? Yeah, I was there on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. You know, I think people are just like, hey, come by and, you know, they want to deliver to them, of course. Everyone's service.
Yeah.
And we're all small businesses now.
I know. It is. It's a nonstop.
Everybody's
ad agency, marketing.
Everything's segregated. Nobody talks about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the way it is.
Yeah. Even Mike screwed up my specials.
What?
Yeah.
What did
he was saying my one special, but it wasn't that special. It was a different special.
Well, what's wrong with that? At least you said it. You think anyone noticed except you?
Yeah, well, he was only talking to me.
I'm saying anybody who's talking to wouldn't have noticed, including your manager. Including your wife. And your kids, they wouldn't have noticed either.
Yeah.
Only we notice.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's
there's a few fans that are like, they'll say something to you like, ha, I'm still in it.
I did get your reference, by the way, on your Instagram video. when you're telling people go to the other theater.
Oh, how about the other one that Liz posted? Me singing, attacking Tom Papa.
Oh yeah, what was that?
You forgot all about it.
I did.
See what I mean? This is how saturated life is. If that was 10 years ago, it's the first thing you would have mentioned.
That's true.
I had to bring it up. That's how saturated everything is. Nobody remembers anything.
Yeah, you came into the Comedy Cellar as I was getting ready to do Come to Papa, and we had the band, and
I came in hot. We can't deny it.
You came in crooning. You were coming in. You came in like your
I
own
thought I was
Dean
going to
Martin.
sing that day.
Yeah,
Instead, it turned out to be one of those girls.
and then you attacked me out of nowhere.
Well, that wasn't out of nowhere. That kid was a long time coming. Of a cop show, I had you pegged perfectly. That was a great episode, wasn't it?
It was a great
You and
episode.
Dave laughing it up.
Oh, the best. That's such a good show. Cop Show is so great.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
You know.
Why don't you make more of those?
I don't know. I didn't have money, and I was losing money on every episode.
Yeah.
It was not a great business model. So I was running out of money.
How much does it cost? It couldn't cost that much.
No, it was cheap.
Yeah, it didn't look like it
But
cost
we were
much.
paying nobody anything. We couldn't keep doing.
I don't think I got paid at all.
I mean, if you got $100,
And I really brought it.
you did.
I brought my A game.
Yep. Right at college.
My Rider College School of Dramas.
Yeah. Yeah, but look, there's no shows where you really go. To me, there's a lack of joy goes on now. When I'm watching TV, I watch these things, and it's all just there's some kind of a fake film over everything.
What do you mean?
I don't mean like film,
Yeah.
over film. A film like there's a
Like a
gauze
haze, yeah.
of, disingenuous, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
over everything. So you're starting from an imaginary premise, an imaginary world, and then you're asking people not only to suspend disbelief because it's a show, but to suspend disbelief as they know life experience to be. So,
Why? Because people are so in the know? Because people all know that we're too savvy? Or is it the
I'll
is it
speak
the
for me.
viewer?
I'll speak for me and your listeners.
Okay.
You could not have had the opposite of my intent in my statement and what you came up with.
I was confused. I'm asking a follow-up.
You sure are. No, I'm saying that
You're saying the people making it.
the people making it are sort of in like a they're in ideological propaganda mode and out of fear or out of their own true beliefs. So you're living in an imaginary. You're setting imaginary
Right.
premises, and then everything you put into an imaginary premise rings hollow, so people can't laugh or really enjoy it. That's
Right.
I'd say 95% of things I see.
That I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. It doesn't matter what they're doing, what they're making. There's now like a self-censorship going on.
Yeah. And
so there's
not
no
just
truthful.
censorship. Yeah, it's pushing themselves right.
Right.
Yeah.
It is really true. I mean, when you look at stuff that was made before this time, I mean
Yeah, that was bad enough.
but
Now.
but like the 70s, like the honesty of like comedies and
Yes.
stuff, it was raw. It all felt raw.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
felt weird.
Now it's gloss.
Yeah, and it's also because everybody's being filmed at all times.
Yeah.
Everybody knows they're on watch. They're being watched at all times, so they're
Right.
careful. They're under surveillance. So that's part of it too.
God. Is this the kind of thing people can expect from your show, Small?
Yes,
At the
they
theater?
can get lots of laughs. First of all, my answer was the only answer you should give these people. If they want to say something else, let them ask it.
Right.
They're being too lazy. I get that question too. You're right. I hate it.
I hate that question because
it's
of course
lazy.
I know.
But you have to say laughs first.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, that's not
That's what I
as
said.
common as you would think.
The last time it was just the other day, and I said, "What can they expect? They can expect to laugh their ass off. They're gonna have more laughs in this hour and a half than they will any other thing they watch this year."
There you go. But that's the right answer.
I know, but it's not.
Then let them
I
do
feel
their
like they're not
homework.
satisfied.
Yeah, and let them ask a follow-up. What do you mean by that?
I know.
Why should you do their work and figure out what they're trying to say?
I know.
Ask the question, but this is part of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, which is people are trying to insinuate. They're trying to make sure that they keep clean and getting you to. It's so weird now.
It is weird.
It's really fake. it's fake and it's,
Do you think the regular people are aware of it?
yeah, I think they're getting more and more aware of it every day.
Yeah. I mean, even my mom will make jokes like, "What, am I going to get canceled?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And she's just talking honestly about something.
Yes.
She'd be like, "Oh, they're probably going to cancel me," but
Right.
it's a weird thing. It's weird that is permeated to the point where
It's been coming. It's been slowly coming for a long time.
a long time. I remember you were very much in the front of it. You
Yeah.
were talking about the danger of where we were headed with all of it, like 20 years before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why you weren't more effective in stopping it.
I don't either. I had big plans, but the best laid plans of mice and men.
But then there's another part where, with comedy, the more raw you are, in some ways, it does break through. Like, people seem to be craving it.
Well, in certain ways, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It depends.
Like, even if you do something stupid, like just use retarded.
Well, but that's what I mean. Here's the problem with, I think, with it, is that, yeah, exactly. People will go in another direction. Like, no, that's not what I mean. And then suddenly it's like that becomes a thing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I'm sure it's been like this forever in different variations. So it's just, this is the modern incarnation of it,
Right. But back to my acting in Cop Show.
Yes, you were brilliant.
I really was. I'm
You were
surprised.
good.
I'm surprised that my episode didn't get more funding for the show.
No episode really did that well, actually. It was really amazing. No episodes really did as well as I hoped.
Right?
Who knows what happens,
Yeah.
It was very strange.
So you always talk about how many times you were famous.
Yes.
When fame would creep up on you in your career,
Yeah.
or not creep, when it would hit,
Right.
did you learn anything from those cycles of when it comes and when it ebbs and flows? Like, do you know, were you able to cultivate it, or was it happenstance?
I was
it
able-
karma? How do you look at that?
Well, how it happened, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we're always walking around thinking, like, what's my next thing? When am I going to
Right.
do this thing? Could you control it, or
No, you
or
can't,
is
no.
this the wheel?
the wheel.
The wheel.
Yeah, I couldn't control it. It was never predictable. It was never, it was never the way. And the funny thing is, because, like, I never really sold that well with, like, comedy as far as, building that giant base.
Yeah.
But because I believe that when I was at MTV, I was selling really well, but I stopped doing comedy for a while. But I believe the first time you're famous is where you imprint with the audience how big you're going to get.
Uh-huh.
If you're famous, I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the first time I was famous was when I should have imprinted. I do theaters. But I wasn't.
Right.
I would have screwed it up anyway. I wasn't prepared.
And people weren't really doing that then.
But it doesn't matter. I could have
Yeah.
been the guy that did it.
Right.
And then you just imprint it. You sort of stay at that.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not at that level, but I'm just saying that, like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just funny because you can't.
You're like, that
once
guy
People
at
know
that
you.
level.
They just know you.
Right.
And after a while, they like you
Uh-huh.
and they like to see you, but they're not gonna think of you in a certain way. Just that's what I think. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just the way it is. But again, this is all just bullshit theory. But
It is, but
in
it's
my life, I've
interesting
seen
to
that.
say.
That's definitely happened with me.
Yeah.
But that could have been some other variation.
Yeah.
A lot of people have complained about not being able to understand me, which apparently is a big thing in comedy. People want to be able to decipher what you're saying. So
It's overrated.
yeah, the fans have complained. That's one good thing about social media. You get to understand people really are saying, hey, you're muttering. You're mumbling. And after a while, I go, I guess I really am. 'Cause
Thanks.
for years, comedians say it. I'm like, you don't know what I'm doing. Shut up. The fans are like, I can't understand you.
Yeah, but it's an interesting thing because everybody kind of has their own inner dialogue of why they're attracting positive things in their life or why they're
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
And there's like, are you manifesting it? Are you in control of it? Or are you
Right.
just living a good life and then things kind of happen that way? Or,
Right.
all that kind of stuff.
No, I mean, it's so true.
Yeah.
But I definitely I just noticed that when I was on MTV, like, I had what they call momentum. I managed to my credit, sabotage it pretty across the board in different ways, but I did definitely notice it.
Right.
But here's another funny thing. Then you get used to it. So one day you're back to flying coach.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
And you're back on the subway. Mario Giovanni used to have a funny joke about that. He goes, yeah, because he was on MTV with me and he had a similar thing. And he goes, I remember 2 years ago, people would go, riding the subway? And he goes, now they look at me and they go, riding the subway. And that's, that's how it goes.
I had a show and I was going back and forth between New York and LA for a long time. Flying first, doing the whole thing.
Yep.
And then the show gets canceled. And then you run out of your status. And then I was back to coach.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in coach and a flight attendant on American Airlines just came back and goes, "What are you doing back here?" And I said, "My show is canceled. It's over. It's,
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, my God." And then later on in the flight, he came back with a cookie wrapped in a napkin, and he handed it to me, and he goes, "You'll be back."
Oh, that was so nice.
It was so nice.
What a great story. You got to tell that in your act.
Yeah.
You got to tell that in your act.
Yeah.
That's a great story. That's a great story.
Yeah.
But it's such a human story.
It really was. And he knew. He clocked me. And we did actually, I did see him like 10 years after that.
You did.
Yeah. Then he was weird. He was like kind of into like salt. He was showing me all the salts that he likes.
Well, why not? Salt is one of the one of the breakthroughs in society.
Right?
You read that book, Salt?
Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah, there is that thing of that ebb and that flow. But what you've done is really I'm very envious of, because when I remember the very first time I ever saw anything off Broadway, I saw True West.
Oh, yeah.
With John Malkovich off Broadway. I think at the theater you're going to be playing in on Barrow, right?
Man, maybe.
Yeah. What's the name of the theater?
No, that was the Cherry Lane. With True
that
West.
was the Cherry Lane. Right.
Oh, believe me, they still love their True West Cherry Lane story, yeah.
Yeah. And I always thought, why, man. And then like Eric Bogosian and just staying in New York and doing the Broadway thing in
the
a
off-Broadway,
comedic way. It was like,
yes, it is kind
which
of
you have done for 20 years.
Yeah, well, 10 years.
I really do. Really?
Yeah.
Long story short?
Yeah, 12 years.
12 years? It's such a cool, from the outside, I don't know how you feel inside.
Yeah,
from
no,
the
it is
outside,
great.
it is very cool.
It's cool in a certain way because, Eric Bogosian, I remember watching Eric Bogosian shows in the 80s.
Yeah.
When I first started comedy. And I was like, that's cool.
It was
and
so
then
cool.
I saw Whoopi Goldberg and I saw Lily Tomlin, Search for Intelligent Life.
You did?
And all those shows, I was like, these shows are good. They're doing a one-person show.
Yeah.
Just kind of cool. You know
Yeah,
what
it
I
was
mean?
very cool.
Yeah.
In New York.
They were all really good shows.
Yeah. I think, and what you do, it's just great. I just
Thanks.
think it's so perfect. Like to see you like touring around is, whatever. But seeing you do these things in New York is like,
Thanks for ruining my tour days.
It really seems.
What if I was promoting my tour right now? You're lucky I'm not. What if I was? You'd be like, see the tour, whatever. Jesus.
Do you want to try a prosciutto with truffle? Or it'll be too much?
I thought you said Liz is going to bring me another Diet Coke.
I asked, she's ghosting me. I don't know where she is.
I don't know where she is.
Oh, my God.
She hasn't seen me in months. I thought you would have come running up. Nope.
I know. Now I'm going to say, now he's yelling at you.
It's really enough.
So you haven't been coming to the cellar? You just go and do your spot?
Yeah, now I'm going to come back to the cellar,
Yeah.
I'll be back now. I mean, you know how the cellar is. It's like, it's really as much of a home as any home in my life.
I know.
I think about it like that. This street, this place is so deep to me. And from the day I first saw it, it felt like that to me.
Right.
Really
Exactly.
weird.
It is weird. And that it happens like that for a lot of us.
Yeah.
You just walk in and you like, I don't know if it's the ghosts that are here from all the performances
But
and
it was before comedy.
yeah.
I mean, this was in the early days.
I know.
So it's just something about this.
I was reading
I
Dylan,
think it is ghosts. Yeah.
rereading Bob Dylan's autobiography, and when he talks about this whole area, you're just like, it's the same. It's exactly the same. It's exactly.
What does he say about us?
Just
Something
that,
about it?
just the energy.
Yes.
Just the energy. It was happening. You could just feel things happening in different spots. Kettle of Fish, and going in
Yes.
and meeting all these characters, the meeting of the different people,
Right.
just populating it.
I mean, early 60s New York, before everything blew up, really, before the
yeah.
Beatles.
Yeah.
Really, one of my theories is the Beatles, who I love, of course, they were sent by England to destroy the United States for payback for the Revolutionary War.
Wait, what?
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? After the Beatles came is when everything started to upheaval. The country fractured apart.
Right, it is true.
And it was because the Beatles came over here, started parading around and telling everybody, fuck this place. They didn't say that, but the subtext.
Do you think Elvis is responsible?
Hold on. Does anyone ever say Elvis where somebody doesn't do an impression? I think Elvis was, by the way, the Elvis movie, speaking of imaginary, the whole Elvis movie, fake movie, where he was hanging out in Memphis because they were so afraid people were going to be like, Elvis, he stole from the black man. So instead they invented him in Memphis in the 1950s.
They made it seem like he was
down for the
he was
down
like,
for the cause.
yeah, he was one of the black artists.
Yeah.
It really,
And that guy was great, though, huh?
Huh?
That guy was great.
The actor playing Elvis? Yeah.
Now, let me ask you that. Would you rather be an actor? I'm not going to mention any names, but let's say some ugly actor who's considered a great actor.
Uh-huh.
Or would you rather be a guy like him that looks like him, but never really is successful as an actor? I mean, he's successful, not him.
Yeah.
You look like him,
Right.
but you kind of work as most of your life as a waiter.
Right.
Or would you rather be a hugely successful, ugly actor?
I would rather be the ugly actor.
Interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Not even close.
Really?
Yes. What do you get for being the?
Even though every time you look in the mirror, you want to throw up?
I feel that now. How's that any different? There's no way. What do you get from being beautiful?
When you're a handsome waiter?
Yeah. You
I
get
mean-
you get laid.
Yeah, you're sitting there. You get the thrill of some, like, beautiful wife married to a rich guy slipping her phone number into your hand
Right.
when her husband's on the cell phone yelling at somebody.
Yeah, that's a complicated life.
Hey,
That's
the way this guy lives.
Yeah, I don't want to be that
Imaginary guy.
I'd rather be the guy who just kind of like talks weird and looks weird and gets put in those roles. I
Yeah.
mean, look what Tom Hanks had to do just to be like us.
Let me tell you.
That in that movie, that was
Tom Hanks was creepy in that movie.
that was so
Be
weird.
like us. What do you mean? You saying we're like the Colonel?
We're like the Colonel in real life.
Well, comedians, Jim Norton was so funny one night because this girl was like stalking all the comedians at the cellar, like trying to have sex with them. And she was really so obnoxious and crazy. And she was like, looked like a psychopath. And I go, she pisses me off too. I go, I don't know why she makes me so mad. And she goes, she makes you mad because that's what we deserve as groupies. We deserve her.
It's true.
And then
It really is true.
And then Nick DiPaolo had a line about groupies. He goes, yeah, these musicians Tommy Lee was dating. He goes, she gets Pamela Anderson. He goes, you ever see Gallagher's wife? No. He says, they're chained in the basement. And he goes down once a week and breaks a watermelon over her head. I mean, it's funny. No, we're not supposed to be part of showbiz. We're supposed
Right.
to be creepy,
Yeah.
We're supposed to be people that are just we're like the audience.
Right.
That's the thing. We're like the audience.
Yeah.
We're not rock stars. We're not movie stars.
Yeah.
We're just
And it got
losers.
kind of blurred because the audience now can have their own shows.
right.
And
And
so it's
comedians
kind of
started to feel
blurred
like,
a little bit.
Comedians became too successful.
Right.
But we're just crumbs.
It's really true.
We don't belong in show business.
But why did Tom
We don't
Hanks-
believe on a red carpet. Why did Tom Hanks play that part?
Yeah.
It really was one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life.
It was so crazy.
I mean, it was like watching a serial killer.
He was like talking like a parrot.
It was psychotic.
And had like a
I mean, if he
rubber
had played a
suit
serial
on.
killer, that would have been good. That guy would have been the greatest serial killer. It would have scared the people. Forget Hannibal Lecter. That guy would have been 20 times scarier. That's what he should do. He should do a part like that as a serial killer.
Yeah.
Because
But
that
it was so
really
cartoony. It was just it was just.
I mean, yeah, and I can't believe they. But in those days, a guy like that, with confidence, who was definitive, who acts like he knows what he's talking about, got away with murder.
I didn't even get that from the film, though. I was so distracted by him.
Yeah, it was really
there was no
terrible.
confidence. It was just him, like,
I know.
We're doing a Christmas special, everybody.
It was really psychotic.
It really was.
It was, you know what I mean? Look, what do they say in acting? Fail bravely. That's the way you should do it. He made a big choice. He was like, hey, guess what? I'm playing this goddamn guy. I'm going all the way. So I admire that. Better than being like, hey, I'm going to play him as a regular guy. It's like, no, do it.
No.
Like when people criticize Al Pacino, I'm like, Al Pacino gets big in parts. Good. I'd rather see him take a chance and overdo it than underdo it.
Yeah. Can someone walk up to him in the middle, like in the first day, and be like, you might want to tone it down a little bit?
Yeah, the director. Yeah. I don't think you do that to Tom Hanks anymore, right?
No.
Good point.
You can't be like, yeah, maybe just pull that back a little bit with the...
Well, I'm sure they have the dailies and, a couple of the directors, a couple of the producers sitting going, I mean, is this what we want to do with this? Kind of overshadowing everything about Elvis.
I know, and he was the main thing of the whole movie.
I know.
Oh, but putting Elvis in and making him like that he was the first black artist was so
funny.
bizarre.
So it wasn't bizarre. Of course, it made sense.
Yeah,
because they don't want to get criticized. But
yeah.
I mean, it was
really whitewashing.
But that guy was good.
He was great. There was a lot. I mean, it was shot cool. There was a lot of that kind of stuff. But man, as soon as it was over, I put on a documentary of Elvis, and I was like, I would rather watch this.
Oh, Elvis was a legend.
Yeah, just watch it. I mean, as great as that guy was, the lead actor, and charisma and good looks, you go to Elvis, and it's like, no, this guy's from outer space.
All right,
this guy is a different level of
he was
cool.
Oh, my God.
It was like from another planet.
Now, would you rather be Elvis, live Elvis's life and die at 45, whatever the hell he was, 46, or be the unnamed ugly guy and live to 83 and die in a civilized manner?
I'd take Elvis. I would take Elvis because he
was Elvis.
He was Elvis. It wasn't just a guy waiting tables, good looking, getting some parts.
It's so funny though.
That was Elvis.
Because Elvis, when you think about the fact in those days, like nowadays, he would have had to weigh in on civil rights. I always think about him.
Yeah.
And I always think about, by the way, I found a flaw in, Joe Namath was at Alabama from 60 to 64.
Uh-huh.
In the middle of the civil rights thing. But I mean, I guess it was insulated from him on campus. But they insulated stars in those days. Now you'd have to answer for everything. But the flaw in Forrest Gump, he was there and he never ran into Joe. Instead of one thing where he was like, and they had a quarterback, and he went on to win the Super Bowl. They never mentioned Joe.
They never mention him.
They mentioned Bear Bryant through the whole thing.
Oh, interesting.
I found a flaw in Forrest Gump.
Jeez, you heard it here, folks.
And then a few years later, a man named Richard Todd also became a Jets quarterback, not as successful.
How come you didn't pursue an acting career?
Me?
Yeah. Like you do parts, but it's usually like because your comedy friends are in it and they're doing it.
Me to do it.
And I
hate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like acting that much. I like cop show acting, but I'm not really into acting.
Yeah, but like you could be like, I could see you having the turns like that Dice Clay all of a sudden shows up in like a legit movie and is like, you're a good actor.
Who gives a fuck? I don't care if
I
you're
know,
a good actor. It means nothing to me.
No.
Be a good actor. Look, I admire really good actors, but it's like, it's not my thing. I've never seen a movie where I go, oh, I would have been great in that part.
No?
No.
So many times I'm watching TV and movies and think and say out loud, Colin should have had that part.
Yeah, I don't care about acting. I
Why?
just don't love it.
You just don't love it.
You sit in the trailer the whole time. I'm like, what the fuck, man? What am I doing? I don't even like these projects,
Yeah.
I
I know, but you're a character. You're such a character.
Yeah. I don't care. Thank you, Mike. I'm glad you laughed. Because Mike knew when you called me a character, I was getting pissed off. You know what I mean? Mike, he said, yeah, you're a fucking object. Why don't you just put me in the goddamn Ringling Brothers circus for that matter, Tom?
I think what we're revealing in this podcast is you think you're the guy in Elvis, and you don't realize that you're the Colonel.
I'm the Colonel. if that's what you're getting out of it, fine.
The ladies do love Colin Quinn, though. The ladies have a thing for Colin Quinn.
Whoa.
There's always a little glint in the eye, that little smile.
Oh.
I don't see it,
No.
but a lot of the ladies see it.
I don't see it.
I've heard from the ladies
Ooh.
that they say that Colin is a sex symbol.
Oh, well, maybe pushing it. Sex symbol might be pushing it.
Why do you think that Liz won't bring us a Diet Coke?
I think that Liz is going through a thing right now where she's like, you know what? I do everything. And these
It took her 12 years to
don't give me
realize.
nothing.
It took her
Yeah.
12 years to realize
These
she's
pieces
working
of shit.
50-hour days.
I work 50-hour days, and these assholes have the nerve to ask me to bring a Diet Coke. Fuck them.
But I thought it would be like a friend thing. Like,
So did I.
I thought she'd be very excited.
But
to
she
come see
probably
us.
feels that even with friend things, we couch it under friend thing, and then she's still working. So she's probably like, and you assholes think I'm falling for the old, hey, it's a friend thing. If it's a friend thing, why don't you bring me a Diet Coke instead of me bringing you a Diet Coke?
I brought her a sandwich.
Oh, focaccia.
Yeah. Maybe
Well-
she just doesn't like us anymore.
I still, honestly, I'm still angry about sourdough bread.
I was telling Mike. Mike's like, what bread do you like? I said, I can't even say it out loud because Colin's coming. The only man on earth that doesn't like sourdough bread.
These sandwiches should be coming from Joey Rose's.
Oh, come on.
I heard he has good bread. I heard he has great bread.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone says Joey Rose's has great bread.
Really?
We're going to have to pop down there one day.
Does
We
he
should go
make
down there.
his own bread?
Yeah, I think they make it.
Really?
We should go down there one day.
Yeah, we should.
You especially. Oh, my God. I can't believe you've done a segment on Joey Rose's when you're the bread man.
I talked to him. We thought about
And what,
maybe
he was
doing a
too high-
mashup.
He was too highfalutin.
Yeah, he was too.
Joey is like that. Let's face it.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like about Joe. He reminds me of myself in that way, and that he just thinks he's who he is, as we used to say.
I was trying to figure out who he was early on, and I was like, when I learned that he was really into Zappa, I was like, oh, I get it. Right?
Yeah.
Like those guys you grew up with. I mean, everyone respects Zappa, but when you were a kid, like for a kid to be into Zappa, you're
Yeah.
like, what's up with you?
No, exactly.
Yeah, maybe
And I
it's
saw Zappa
legit.
in concert.
Huh?
I probably can bond with Joe because I saw Zappa in concert.
You did.
Yeah,
Was he good?
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was on acid, but it was still amazing.
You were on acid?
Yeah,
Seeing Zappa?
maybe he was on it too. Who knows? Yeah,
Wow.
I knew his sons. I loved his sons. Amit, Dweezil, Munyan. I loved all those kids. He was a great guy. I met Zappa through Amit. We all went to their house, and he was just a great. Him and his wife, they were just like even this big rock star, but he's like a family man.
Really?
Just a great guy.
Wow.
Really cool.
Super smart.
Yeah,
Does
but I
make
think
me like Joey
he died
anymore.
young. What's that?
How old?
I don't know, but he smoked cigarettes. I think that was what killed him too. He was a chain smoker, I think, if I
Right.
remember correctly. He got, and
His granddaughter was in choir with my daughter.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. But I wonder who's maybe Munyan's daughter. And but yeah, Joey Rose's sandwich place, and then we could talk about Zappa. You know what we could do? The good thing about Joe is he'll take it with he'll have the humor to understand. All we have to do is hit him with a couple of Zappa questions, and he'll start stuttering and realize I'm not into Zappa. I'm just the guy that says I'm into Zappa because I want to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way he can hold up under questioning. I'll bring my Alex, my manager, Alex, works for Brian. He went to Berkeley School of Music. So he'll break down Joe in about 3 questions.
I thought you were going to say break down Zappa.
No, he'll break down Joe's love of Zappa.
Right.
He'll be like, so you like this? And then when Joe's like this, he'll be like, oh, well, he's like, but that's rudimentary knowledge of that.
The best part about
That'd be a
that,
good podcast.
the best part about that is that Joe would take it so to heart.
Yeah.
He would be so, that's what's so good.
Yeah, but he recovers.
said-
Look, he recovered from the keep kicking him in the nuts tattoo very nicely.
Right.
No, I think that's the next podcast.
Yeah.
Should be me bringing Alex and breaking down Joe's love of Zappa. We'll all
A
sit around the
12-part series.
No, we'll just do it here on the show. We'll say, oh, we want to do a promo for the place.
What?
The guys from the stand will be like, hey, Joe, you got to do a promo. And then it'll just be that.
How can people get tickets to your thing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a thing called the website. What else?
Oh.
What else could there be? Boy, Ticketmaster's having some problems, huh? They just,
Are they?
oh my God, everybody just complains about it all the time because everything people want to see sells out of the website. There's some weird stuff goes on.
Right.
Ticketmaster is one of those things. Didn't they do a documentary on them at some point?
I don't know.
About what
I
all
think
this
maybe Blockbuster. I saw a
Crazy.
Blockbuster documentary. I can't tell because
Eddie
all my
Vedder was
shows
right.
all my shows are sold out, so it's hard to tell
Oh, they are?
if it's a mistake or not.
That's good news. Where are you working?
I'm going to Foxwoods tomorrow.
Oh,
Bonnie McFarlane's opening for me.
oh, she's great.
She's so great.
I love it. I hope she doesn't bring her husband.
I know. Mike works with Voss, unfortunately.
You do?
Yeah.
On what?
He
My wife hates.
he does stand up too, Mike.
I know.
So-
Oh, you open for Voss?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of times he can't pay him, but
Yeah, wow. He's not getting paid. Why should you? By the way, if you're at Foxwoods,
yeah.
I have a friend at Mohegan Sun this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Stop by and say hello to him. Named Robert Kelly.
Oh no. Oh, in that club?
Yeah. The Mohegan.
That's good.
Isn't that close by now?
No.
No.
They seem like they should be close by.
I know. They always seem like they're close, but they're not.
Mike, why aren't you opening for Robert there?
I'm here.
That's right. He's got business to take care of.
Oh, really? You turned up. He asked you and you turned him down?
No, he didn't.
I can't believe. Honestly, I can't believe it that Liz never showed.
It really is upsetting. Well, we still got time.
Nah.
Come on. We've got time.
I'm not one of these guys that does 2-hour podcasts like you and Rogan. Okay, I do an hour. I'm out.
We're not even at an hour.
Oh,
Let me just try it. I'll try her on speakerphone.
what do you mean we're not an hour? It's already 1:42.
What time we start?
1.
Yeah, so it's not even an hour.
Well,
You
wow.
want to leave already?
no, not yet, but in an hour I will. You don't understand. Some of these podcasts, I'll tell you the truth. I've never some. Go ahead.
I'm going to see if Liz loves us anymore. I don't think we used to be her favorites.
Those days are over. She likes the young guys. I don't blame her.
Yeah, there's a whole new crop now.
Yeah. They're young. They're lively. They're fun.
She's like, ugh, you guys again.
Yeah, you guys are old fogies.
Right now she's looking at her phone and not pick. I mean,
Cursing.
who more than Liz has their phone at the ready? Like I've never
He doesn't answer calls, only text.
I've never seen her look at you without one eye going off like an anteater on the other phone. Like a chameleon eye.
She's probably hiding in the hallway making fun of us. Laughing in our faces.
Why don't you like sourdough? I don't think you understand sourdough is the problem. I don't think that you really understand it. You think it's that San Francisco really sour.
Yeah, I
taste.
hate that shit. I went to San Francisco. I was so excited to try sourdough bread and the Italian food and the bread there.
Uh-huh.
And I tasted it. I was like, what the hell? Even its name is sour. It's sour. Why is that good?
I know, but that's the base. It's kind of a. There is the sour sourdough, but then there's the earthy sourdough or the fluffy
I don't like anything
sourdough.
earthy. I never liked healthy stuff. Even when I was a little kid, you have a health bread, you're like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. I like Wonder Bread.
What would you eat for lunches when you were going to school?
When I wanted, you mean what I would eat?
Yeah.
Well, when I was really little,
Yeah.
you know, I was around for when it became healthier.
Uh-huh.
So before that, you would have literally sometimes as a treat, you would have sugar bread. It was a slice of bread with sugar on it. You have to be a certain age to have had
A
sugar.
slice of bread with sugar on
With
it?
sugar on it.
Butter and sugar?
Nope, just sugar.
Just sugar?
Sugar bread. It was delicious. And then my Aunt Patsy Kelly, I was just talking downstairs about how much I hate mustard. The bartender was saying he loves mustard. I was telling him to go hang out with Jim Norton, the mustard king. And then my Aunt Patsy made me, Patsy Murphy, I think, she made me eat mustard on my bologna, and I've hated it ever since.
Oh,
I
really?
hate mustard. I hate mayo.
What do you put on a hot dog?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Well, sauerkraut sometimes.
Right.
But that's bad for your heart. When you have a heart attack, they say sauerkraut is very salty.
Sauerkraut is.
Yeah.
Have you changed your diet completely?
It's like eating 10 shrimps.
Do you not eat wings anymore?
Oh, I never eat wings,
Really?
except when I'm at the cellar. Joe's Pizza. I haven't changed my diet at all. I take my medication. And I went to my doctor, and, I was like, oh, he's going to tell me, you're eating ice cream. I said he's really going to put the clams down because he's kind of a serious guy. I go on the, do the stress test. At the end, he goes, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Your heart's great. I was like, what?
Oh, no.
Another reprieve.
That's amazing.
It shows you the miracle of statins.
Yeah.
Folks, if I get no message out of today's podcast, please get on statins.
Yeah, you can eat whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want.
When Jen makes you go out for dinner?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's a big date night. Do you go for Italian first?
Yeah, we Italian.
Italian.
You know, Italian is the greatest food of all time. I mean, people that don't like Italian as the number one food, I can't even understand it.
Yeah. Yeah, they have real problems.
Yeah. Now, I also like, you ever have Spanish or Portuguese seafood?
Yes.
The best.
El Quijote,
Yes.
right? By Gotham?
Gotham, yeah.
that place was good.
Really good.
Is it still there?
I don't know.
I don't know. But that's like a once in a while kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're not like, let's go out for that.
Not in Brazil. They probably have it every night.
Do you cook at home?
No.
Does Jen?
Cook sometimes. I've cooked, but not that much.
Right?
I cook, you know.
Yeah.
I always threaten to cook, but it takes a long time to cook.
Yeah.
What I like to cook, I only like to cook that red sauce. So that red sauce, it takes like 3 hours. You can't just cook it.
Right.
You have to let it sit, then you have to put the other stuff, and it's a whole thing.
Cook it down.
Oh, my
meat
God.
in it.
Yeah.
Just go
great.
around. Just go. Just go. Just go around the corner.
I was thinking of Goodfellas the other day, and one of my
Do you think of Goodfellas every day?
no, but I think of Mean Streets or Goodfellas a lot.
Right.
Mean Streets is really the funniest one.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Mean Streets a few times?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that played, not only are all 4 characters funny from the beginning, they set him up perfectly,
Yeah.
but just the fact that the guy that Michael that's trying to become a mob gentleman, everything that happens to him where he gets birthday cake on his face, everything goes wrong for him the whole movie. It's like a comedy in the middle of this serious mob movie.
Right.
So funny. I mean, it's one of the funniest movies ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's his name?
greatest.
Doyle. Brian Doyle. Right.
Harvey Keitel?
No. Ray Romano's dad. Doyle, isn't it?
Doyle?
Big guy. Yeah, the big guy. Young Frankenstein. Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle? No, that's Taxi Driver.
Oh, that's Taxi Driver.
Oh, my God. Taxi Driver is another one, man.
Right.
I mean, that's the problem.
Right.
When you really think about this, how is Scorsese going to get excited after doing Taxi Driver and Mean Streets?
Right.
I mean, those were level.
Yeah.
Even Goodfellas, as great as Goodfellas
Yeah.
is it the same level as Mean Streets and Taxi Driver? No.
No.
They have a different flavor because what you said, the 70s was raw.
Yeah, so raw.
You know what I mean?
I know.
It was another level.
So good, though. What about Casino?
Not a fan.
Not a fan at all?
No.
Really?
A couple of good scenes, but I just didn't think it was great.
I thought it was pretty good.
I thought Sharon Stone was great.
What were you thinking about Goodfellas? You said you were thinking about Goodfellas the other day.
Oh, yeah. No, I was thinking about the moment in Goodfellas when he because my brother does the best impressions, but he won't do them on command. But he would do young Henry going, "Thank you," when Jimmy gives him his, keep him coming, "Thank you." And the way he did that one line, but he does that with movies and TV shows, but he'll never do it if you ask him to.
Right?
But it's perfect. And he got his thing perfectly.
Yeah.
And he's a great impressionist.
Really?
It's just these little snippets, but they're always the one like that. Like this kid said it kind of almost deadpan. Like he just picks up like, "Thank you." I can't even do it. The way he did it was so funny.
That's the best. What about Raging Bull?
Yeah, Raging Bull was great.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was very ponderous.
I like the heavy LaMotta.
Oh my God, he was great.
God.
He was amazing in that.
Oh my God.
But isn't it funny? Like Scorsese didn't get, it didn't win Best Director, right?
Uh-huh.
And then even Goodfellas didn't win Best Film or Best Director. It's very strange. And they were always like, well, it's political stuff. It's like, how can it is weird that show business can be political.
It is really weird. I know.
And even now, people campaign for Oscars. I wouldn't even know how you go about that.
I know.
What do you do?
Right.
Oh, they take out ads. What?
Yeah.
Not-
And make 1,000 appearances.
What is it? Yeah, they go
Yeah.
to. It's all this favor stuff. And I mean, who cares? Nobody watches any of these shows.
It was making me wonder about that. Like, why is show business like the only? I guess it's the reach, but why is it the only place, the only one that's responsible for making moral judgments on society and the diversity, and it's like, why is it all just in there? You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's everywhere, and that's just the most visible.
It is everywhere, yeah.
You know, but it's like, and I could see it being like, okay, we're gonna make these meaningful pictures about these issues.
Right.
That's great, which is the way it always used to be. But then you would also have screwball comedies and just batshit crazy stuff. But now that message is in all aspects
It's
of
infused,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's infused.
It's very responsible and very earnest.
Yeah, it's like it has to be part of the mission
Comedies
statement.
can't be earnest.
Yeah, it's like it's got to be the mission statement for anything that you make. It's very strange. Mike, do you want this other piece of this sandwich? This is a weird one.
Sure, I'll take it after.
All right. You got to keep Mike fed.
You drive in these gigs? You and Voss drive to the gig?
No, like in Dallas, I went on my own. He came from here.
He lives in Texas, really. He doesn't really live here.
I really live.
No,
here.
he's from San Antonio.
Yeah.
I have a house in San Antonio still.
Right.
He lives with a giant Mexican family down there.
There's only 2 of them, but they're really
His
fat.
brother is a super welterweight. He happens to be a local champion in the school of Jesse James Lieja, like Texas Idol. Yeah, Texas is another interesting place.
Yeah.
And do you live in San Antonio?
My house. I have a house there. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He only comes here for this and for
Oh, that's cool.
and for Voss gigs.
You know? I know. Well, that's Voss.
Do you think Voss will be with Bonnie when Bonnie's
You
working with
gotta
me
get
this weekend?
yourself up there, Mike.
Do you think he'll be in the green room with her?
No, I think he'll be in like he'll be in like,
The brokerage?
like Toledo.
Right.
He is in Ohio this week.
He is.
He'll be in the other club wherever he is. I'm at the other club.
Oh, you're playing Hilarities? No, I'm playing the other club.
I mean, he's so damn funny.
So the funniest people on earth.
Yep.
I mean, naturally, just
Yep.
the funniest people on earth.
Yeah.
Watching him and Bonnie on
The best.
She hates him or whatever.
How that's not like one of the biggest podcasts
I know.
is ridiculous.
It really is.
It makes me fuming. How could it not be every couple
know.
listens to that all the time?
Yeah, it's so funny. I think it's because it's not that relatable because most people don't see them as dumb as Rich comes off. Even if they are, they don't want to think of this that way.
That's a good point.
So, are you allowed? I know when you're on Broadway, you can't change the act at all. Like it gets kind of set in stone,
It is.
right? When you were on
No.
Broadway, I thought you had to stick to.
Well,
the
you have
book.
lighting cues and stuff.
Oh.
You have to stick to the last line, but you can play around in the middle.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You just have to have the lighting cue line always has to stay the same.
Right. Okay.
So the opening and the last one also confuses the lighting and stuff. But otherwise, yeah, you do whatever you want.
Oh,
And
okay.
now I do whatever the hell I want,
Yeah.
You know.
No, because I couldn't see that part. Always was in my mind of like I couldn't see you just locking in and not doing new things because you're the most prolific. So for you just to kind of like lock in wouldn't
No,
really
me and the director knew from the beginning this has to be open,
right,
or else what's the point?
right,
You know we are. The beauty of stand-up comedy is you can respond to what's going on in front of you.
right, exactly in the
You
moment,
know, in the moment, and people expect it.
right. Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, exactly.
But you also try to keep it in semi-control. Like sometimes the worst is like even Dad was at Comedy Works a few months ago, and this guy, and I knew he was a fan, but he was so drunk, and he yells out 20 minutes in, "Jim Norton!" And I go, "Sorry." And I threw him out, and he's like, I love him. And his friends are like, he does love him, but he got too drunk.
Oh no.
And like, he ruined the night for himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm insulted, I'm so mad, but
Yeah.
just so drunk, and then you know what I mean. So spontaneous, but it's like
Yeah.
that's the worst. People say hecklers are bad, but the hecklers, I would say, 75% of hecklers love you.
Uh-huh.
They're
I
your
know,
fans.
I
That's
know.
the weird part.
They're so excited.
Yeah, and they're just too drunk,
Yeah.
and they want to be part of the show.
They're just
So
blurting.
75% love you. You used to think, oh, they hate you. That's only 25%.
Right. It's so sad. Do you think all the stuff that you're talking about, do you think that it goes back to the 70s, or do you think that this is all going to just be baked in? Are the fun times over?
No, because, I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? We say the 70s was this great time. Here it was, but in Chile it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Right.
I mean, it all depends on your
Yeah. No, but
viewpoint.
just about like the freedom of in the arts.
I mean, it can't stay the way it is. It's so, everything I watch, you just see them making sure to cover their ass. Mm-hmm. And it's done artfully, but it's fake. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not coming from a true believer. Sometimes you read, this person's a true believer. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, there's just something false, I think,
Yeah.
And it's like, it can't remain because people turn off everything. I mean, all these places end up losing money or whatever because people just can't tolerate something that's so inauthentic that you're just like, well, why am I watching it? Either make it completely fake. Mm-hmm. I mean, now it almost feels like a different version of the idealized Father Knows Best shows from the 1950s, where everything's like, here's how we want it to be.
Right.
It's this imaginary ideological thing. And, But,
Do you think people will break through it? Do you think like a younger generation will call bullshit?
yeah, I do.
You do?
Maybe the next generation, with this one coming up.
Right.
Yeah, I do think somebody will hit the tone that people go, oh, that's the tone, yes.
Right.
And it'll be this breath of fresh air, and then everything will get siphoned through there. And be,
right.
And then they'll be able to breathe and be able to do stuff,
Able to breathe is a good way to put it. Yeah. That really is it. It's like suffocating.
Yeah, it is.
It's like suffocating. Anytime you go to make something and with other people and they just start putting these big blankets over your head.
It's so severe and so weird.
Yeah.
And it's just joyless, That's how I think. I think it's all joyless. That's what's great. It's why we're so lucky to be stand-up comics.
Yeah.
Because you can still create your own thing. And even if it fails with the audience, it's like, whoa, at least you got through those other levels before you had to say, oh, the crowd is,
Right.
You know what I mean? At least you got through certain levels.
Yeah. Yeah.
That nobody else can get through. They can't get through them.
No.
You know what I mean? They make a movie. There's 10 layers of people going, no, this, cut this, change this. This is weird. This is questionable. Change this person.
Yeah.
So by the time they get to it, it's unrecognizable. And then the audience can hate it or love it. But I'm saying they don't even have their own choice. They don't have their own choices in their project. So that's weird.
I saw this little film that Whitmer Thomas made with his friend.
Who did?
Whitmer Thomas.
I don't know who that is.
He's a young comic and just made this quirky little film. Him and his friend, I'm basing on his friend's name. He's a comic also.
I know he is.
They came from Alabama. He had an HBO thing on Alabama. It's his stand-up from there. And really creative guy, really funny guy. And he just made this little film for like $30,000. But it really brought me back to like the 80s when you would crave independent films.
Yeah.
Like you were waiting for the next cool independent under the radar, not from the big studios film. Like that, I remember wanting that and waiting for it. And my friends would be psyched. And did you see Drugstore Cowboy or whatever, these kind of things?
Great movie.
And it's been so long that those have been around. But watching him make this film for like $30,000, and it was funny and it was interesting, and it was like, it's just so raw because they didn't have money, so they had to just get it out. And it was like, maybe that will be the thing that kind of corrects it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like young artists just.
Well, it's what's happening with stand-up with, suddenly Netflix like, oh, we want your YouTube. We want to acquire your special.
Right.
If they're on YouTube.
Right.
Right?
Right. And everyone.
Same thing. We'll have it with movies with Thomas and everybody.
Yeah. So we'll just go do it ourselves and without any rules and without any big expectations.
Right.
So then maybe that's.
Well, that's also the problem is expectation. Like everybody now, like I always thought old, which is the way people think now is I'm going to find a way to do this myself. That's how it's done.
Right.
And that's how it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You can't wait around. You have to create your own small business, what we said.
Right. which is pretty great.
Drugstore Cowboys might be the funniest. Matt Dillon was so funny in that movie.
Yeah.
When he goes, "This is liquid diluted," and he's showing them like, "This is the best thing in the world. I'm showing you right now." He didn't overdo it. It was one of the funniest performances.
See, you love film so much. I think you should be in more film.
I love films.
I
No,
know
I'd be
you
a
really
film
do.
critic.
Huh?
I'd rather be a film critic. Did you? I mean,
Yeah.
but I love like those Italian great ones. I mean,
Yeah. No, you remember all the lines. You really love.
do you ever watch Nights at Cabiria?
No.
Any movie?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's the greatest thing.
A Fellini movie?
Yeah, he was married to what's her name and Massino and Giuliana. Anyway, but that was his wife, Julia Massino. But anyway, she's in this movie called Nights at Cabiria. It's all set in Rome at night. It's so funny. Maybe because the comedian you like even better because it's all night shoots.
Right.
It was the funniest. She was a genius.
Really?
They call her the Charlie Chaplin of
Oh wow.
Europe. You know,
Wow.
she was amazing.
Have you recovered from Raquel Welch passing away?
Oh, I love Raquel Welch.
I know you.
Raquel Welch.
Yum, yum, yum.
One time, me and my sister made a comedy tape. She was only like 9. I was like 13, 12, I guess. And then I go, and now I was pretending to be Johnny Carson. We get a little tape recorder. I go, now here's my guest, Raquel Wench. And I go, Raquel, you're looking very whatever these days. Some joke about her tits, you know. And my sister goes, thanks. We did a whole thing. It was so funny. I wish you could find all the old tapes.
You sure you don't want one with truffle?
What? Truffle oil or truffle?
Truffle, like
No,
like
isn't that pig?
mush?
Pigs?
Truffle? Pig's fine.
Pigs. Remember the guy, Lenny Schultz? More pigs, Lenny. Remember? He'd make the crowd yell, more pigs. And he'd throw mud and pigs and stuff. Remember? He was a big comedian back in the 80s. I mean, he sold out a lot of places.
I have an update from Liz.
Oh, nice. Is it cursing us out?
I said, now he's yelling at you. And she said, Colin would never yell at me. I said, we're wondering why you don't love us. I'm putting us together to hopefully
a last minute. Maybe she could end this. The crescendo is when Liz shows up. Speaking of crescendo, did you watch that movie Tar? I watched the first 15 minutes. I'm like, this is a hard movie to watch.
Oh, really?
Because it's like she's throwing out all these references to like Mozart and Bach, like, and I'm like, I don't even understand what she's talking about. But then I heard it gets into like interesting, like it becomes this other movie.
Oh, yeah?
The beginning is really hard.
All right.
It's good, but it's hard.
All right. All right.
Because she's like a very severe lesbian kind of a music Juilliard professor, and she teaches or she's a conductor or something. And it's just like, unless you're really into classical music, it's hard to understand these references.
Right.
What are they talking about?
Why is it called Tar? That's how
I don't know.
Your head feels.
Oh, that's her name.
Oh.
Her name is Edna Tar.
I know some classical things.
You do?
Yeah.
Like what?
Ask me a question.
All right. Have you seen Tar?
No.
Oh. All right. What's a crescendo?
That's the apex, the peak.
Yeah, but everybody knows that.
Well,
I thought it was another musical term. Okay.
Do you ever look at on Instagram? You ever see Leonard Bernstein?
No.
Oh, he explains that. It's really good.
He explains what?
Classical music and what all the instruments mean and why this is coming in at this level. And he's really good.
I bet they stole that for this movie Tar.
Ooh, maybe.
Well, all I have to say to you is I'm going to give you a warning right now.
A 5-minute warning?
No. You better C sharp or you're going to B flat.
Oh! Well, this was fun, Colin.
It was fun.
I'm glad you canceled your other podcast.
I didn't cancel. I just did it early.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was this one better than that one?
I asked him to flip the times.
Oh, that's good. Was this one better?
There's no better. It's like children. They're all different.
Did he give you sandwiches?
No, they did not. It was on Zoom.
Interesting.
That one was on Zoom.
On Zoom?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's fine.
It's fine. We just got to sell tickets.
We do?
How long is this show going to go on at the new theater? What's the theater called again?
The theater's called the Theater
Cherry Lane?
della Arte.
Bella on Barrow Street.
No, it's called the Bella of Barrow.
Bella.
No, it's called.
It's not
called the
it at
Greenwich.
all.
It's called the Greenwich Theater. It's not Barrow City, Greenwich Theater.
The Greenwich
Yeah, but
Theater.
You know,
Don't you want people to go?
Yeah, and all they have to do is go to my goddamn website, and then they'll find out where it is. I don't have to go looking up the Barrow City.
That
Theater.
always seems like the one pain in the ass of doing these Broadway things. You Broadway guys.
What?
Is that you have to promote it the whole time, the whole run.
No, Broadway's the worst. Broadway, you have to promote all the time. Or Broadway's a little better because it's about 1/3 to 1/5 of the seats,
Right.
and it just
You don't have to
like,
promo constantly.
No, you have to promo, but not the way other people do it. And you know, I don't
that's
care if I don't sell out. I'm not looking to sell out every night.
Right.
I mean, that's actually a horror to me.
Yeah.
Selling every night, it was chomping at the bit. It's like relax.
Yeah.
It's all Broadway, like you said.
Right.
When we grew up, all Broadway was like the hip, cool, like
Yeah.
goes in and those kind of people are
Yeah.
kind of working a certain way. It was fun, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, think about it. Like if I was like a freshman in college or senior in high school getting tickets to go see Bogosian, he wasn't selling out.
No,
You know what I mean?
no, but he
Yeah.
was selling decent.
Yeah, it was.
But he was not a sellout, right?
Yeah.
I used to see this guy, Brother Theodore. He was a famous guy. He ran the 13th Street Theater. He did this show, one-man show, every weekend for 35 years. He was on Letterman a few times.
Oh, really?
And he was a German. It was like this dark. You just come out and like dark, and he was just the scariest guy. Hello, everyone. You know, and you come out and you go, all the great philosophers are dead. Jesus dead. Moses dead. Muhammad dead. And I am not feeling so hot myself lately. That was his opening. And he go into this whole show, but it was really funny. And he'd work the crowd. It was really well done. He was like a real.
It's amazing. That's a great open.
Yeah, he was really good.
So, is it fair to say you are like the Tony and Tina's wedding of comedy?
More than fair. Guess what? If I can incorporate a fun, like those kind of things,
Yeah.
I love those kinds of things. I love when they have a wedding, interactive. I love all that shit.
You do?
I love it. I mean, you have to be careful. You don't want it to be, you know, where you sell out by doing it.
Right.
But if it's done legitimately, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like Tony Tina. I never saw Tony Tina's wedding, but I'm just saying.
You mingle with the whole wedding
Yeah, but I'm
party.
saying it's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, ran for a long
But it's
time.
the same thing we were talking about at the beginning. The crowd, if they have too much, I guarantee that would be a documentary I'd love to see.
Right.
The story of the people that did Tony and Tina's weddings.
Uh-huh.
Some big stars did it too.
Yeah.
I know a girl that actually did it. And to see what they say, like when they knew there was an asshole, because people are drinking
Right. You mean the audience members?
too. Audience is drinking the whole show.
grabbing ass.
Grabbing ass, trying to be funny,
Right.
trying to be tough, trying to be, hey, Tony.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it must be
Yeah.
great and horrible.
Yeah.
Like when they ran that show, after I did my show, long story short, the next show in the Helen Hayes was that show about the 80s musicals.
Oh, yeah, Power or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever it was called. And they said, these were all like nice suburban couples, but in their late 30s, early 40s.
Right.
This is the first thing.
Yeah.
The first of those shows for them.
Uh-huh.
Well, the Scorpion, whatever songs, I don't even
Yeah, like all the 80s ballads.
And they said people were vomiting off the balcony. They said they made so much money on drinks, but it was a nightmare. I mean, it was famous.
Right.
Just people getting sick, falling down, passing out outside in the seats. They said it was nuts.
Drinking like they were in high school again.
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages. That's
Yep.
what it was.
And they said it was crazy. In the middle of Broadway.
Right. That's so funny.
Because they sold drinks. They made a mint.
And everybody's listening to Van Halen. And
Yes,
think
and they're back in high
again.
school. You know, they get in their head, but like, I'm back. And then only your body's not back. Your mind is back.
It's so funny.
And your body can't handle it.
Yeah.
Only your mind can handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're listening to like, you know, whoever was, you know. Isn't that crazy?
That's so
And it was the
great.
first one of those where it's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
the audience now. Their kids are
Right.
16. They're going to go out for the night.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Risky Business. That should be a Broadway musical.
Yes.
Right?
That would be a good Broadway musical.
Yeah.
They already have the one song, Old Time Rock and Roll.
Yeah. Get people throwing up there.
We should do a Broadway musical. Comedy.
But someone did that, right?
What? Who?
Someone did it. Well, they did the Catskills on Broadway.
That's different. I'm talking about this is going to be a comedy show about comedy.
And then there was one after that they tried to put together.
I'm doing one called The Cellar Table. It was a big table, a big table. Everyone sat as long as they were able at the big table. I already got one of the songs written.
That's pretty
Big
good.
Table.
I would go see that. Interactive.
It's not interactive.
No, I think it should be.
No.
Think like Tony and Tina's wedding, and everyone gets a B at the cellar table.
Well, you know what? I like this idea because listen to me. That's a great idea. Because you say, hey, guys, you're enjoying it, and you put the table in the audience, right? And you have a little cutout point of the table and put it on somebody like this, like a tray.
Yeah.
And then everybody attacks them and roasts them,
Right.
like the cellar table.
Yeah. And then after you do that a bit, then we all go downstairs to the cellar for the set.
I love it.
This
It's a
is-
really good idea.
this is pretty
and
good.
we find like a young unknown to play Patrice.
Mike.
Mike, can you do this? You're awful. I tell you, one time I was at, he opened for me. I was doing the Aspen Comedy Festival, like 2003, 2002, whatever. And then he's opening for me. So the Aspen Comedy Festival is,
Yeah.
there's no wider place in town
Right.
than Aspen and the Aspen Comedy Festival in 2002. So everybody's at the show. The whole audience has ski tans. Everybody's in their nicest sweater. Beautiful teeth. They're all rich as hell.
Yeah.
Beautiful teeth. Everybody's like beautiful hair.
Gorgeous.
Just beautiful people, you know.
With money.
Oh, with big money. And then Patrice opens for me. So the opening act, you wanted to warm up a little bit, you know, get the crowd going. His opening is like this. He walks on stage. They're like, I hate it here. And they're like, what? He goes, I hate this town. And they're like, he goes, because, he goes, just you're too friendly. You're trying. He goes, I was at the, and he tells the story. He goes, I was at the, walking out of the store today, and this lady goes, hi. He goes, hi. And she goes, are you a football player? He goes, no. She goes, oh, do you live here? And he goes, miss, if I lived here, don't you think you'd know it? And the whole crowd laughed. Oh, God, did you laugh? It was so funny.
It's so great. 2002. He opened for you in 2002.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. I know. I just saw a picture of Manny and Geraldo when I was going through my photos today. I'll show you the photo. It's a really good one. Albums.
Geraldo?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I mean, Geraldo, that's the other thing about Tough Crowd. You get a guy like Geraldo who, you know, people, he never made a big production himself.
Uh-huh.
He was always had a different angle on things.
Mm-hmm.
Always funny. Always held his own.
Yep.
And, you know, just one of those guys that never didn't hit it. You know, never didn't.
Right. Never missed.
He never didn't nail something.
Right. I know.
Like you could rely on him always to have his own unique. Did it himself. Put
Yeah.
it together. I mean,
I know. You could tell because, I mean, that's the thing with him and Patrice, is that you hear so many people say they wish they were around now just to hear what they would be saying.
yep.
You know, that's
Yeah.
because they were so on
I
point.
feel that way too.
Yeah. Do you feel like at least you have me?
Yes.
That's good. Oh, I thought I saved it. It was this cute shot of Manny and Geraldo, both just young and alive. Colin Quinn, small talk
Yeah.
at the Greenwich Village Theater,
At the Bella Barrow.
at the Bella Barrow Theater.
Just go on my stupidcolinquinn.com and get the tickets. Don't
and
go
buy
to
the tickets.
theater.
It's going to run through when?
It'll be running all of April.
Whoa.
Good way to get in from the rain. And yeah, it's gonna be good. It's really interesting. It's all about small talk, but it's bigger than that. But
It is. I watched you
but it's
put
not.
together all this stuff. It was so good.
thanks. Yeah, it's coming together.
Yeah, it really.
Yeah, I know you watched me put together half it's on Sirius thanks to your buddy Andy Fiore. At least that's who took the
No,
call.
when I
It was
opened- when I would
that's who
open
took the
for it.
wait for it. It was really Tom. Go ahead.
That was not my fault. The great Colin Quinn, everybody. We'll see you next time.